When you buy a new vehicle, unless it's some future collector car, you're basically just throwing away your money because of, well, drumroll, depreciation. And these 8 luxury SUVs prove it. Which one's lost the most as a percentage? Which one is worth $50,000 less than it was new? Which one surprised me the most? Keep watching and find out. Welcome to Idealist. Please like, subscribe, and let's go. Land Rover Range Rover, the royal loss. A Range Rover on this list of luxury SUVs that depreciate? Shocking, right? Here's the thing. If you just ignore the reliability concerns and costs of repairs and maintenance, nothing gives you the experience a Range Rover does. The British Bruiser drives like a Bentley, has the creature comforts of a Rolls-Royce, the tech and safety of a Mercedes, and off-road chops that could make a Land Cruiser blush. On-road, it's quiet. Smooth and sophisticated. And off-road, there are very few luxury SUVs that even come close. It is the OG of SUVs that don't compromise on-road drivability just to remain incredibly capable off-road. We're talking air suspension, active sway bars, and trick traction control systems that make you feel like you're driving a lifted sports sedan on the streets, but a leather-limed Humvee through the creeks. See what I did there? That sort of rhymes. The problem is, well, they don't have the best track record for reliability and all the complicated over-engineered parts that go into giving you the full experience. Well, they break, and when they do, it costs big bucks. Which means when a Range Rover's warranty expires, they take a big hit on market value. Check out this one that cost $120K new and is now only worth 60% less. But you can find them for just $29,000. That's a whopping 76% off MSRP in just the first 5 years. I feel bad for that first owner. Infiniti QX80. This behemoth from Infiniti definitely isn't everyone's cup of tea. It's gigantic, and if I'm honest, it's not the prettiest thing to look at, but it's pretty quick for its size, and it's kind of like a big, fast, angry elephant. Get one and just shove everyone out of the way with over 400 horsepower and 3 tons of weight. You'll be crunching cars in absolute luxury. And before you get mad at me for suggesting to destroy an expensive luxury vehicle by using it in a car ram, know that in just 5 years short, the QX80 lost more than 50% of its value, dropping from an MSRP of well over 70,000 to just around 33 grand today. Or even less, we found this one for just over 19K. That's 75% off MSRP, baby. Which, yes, it's still pretty expensive, but it's neat that you can get one for such a discount. And in my opinion, the QX80 scores some points for its sub 6-second 0 to 60 time, but loses those points because I'm still not sure exactly why you choose a Nissan Armada in a tuxedo over most of its competition. And seriously, it's one of the ugliest cars that's been made in the last 10 years. Period. I mean, sure, the interior, it's nice, and the list of standard features is impressive, but still, when it comes to SUVs, it isn't just the luxury brands for us normal folks that drop in value. Our friends at Bentley are quick to show us, since their Bentayga is next on our list. Bentley Bentayga. Bentley is the brand normally reserved for the 10% of the 1%. It's the brand you buy when you want luxury and opulence of a Rolls-Royce, but blended with the driving characteristics of something much more dynamic. When Bentley rolled out the Bentayga in 2016, it marked a pivotal shift in the SUV market. Because sure, it was kind of a stretch when someone like Porsche or BMW decided to enter the sports utility market, but Bentley? Yeah, that paved the way for brands like Lamborghini, Lotus, and Aston Martin to jump in on the fun too. They're ultra smooth and wicked quick, powered by a refined and powerful twin-turbo W12, paired with an interior that's second to none. But boy, did these things get hit with the depreciation stick. With a starting price of over $250,000, just 5 years later you can pick them up for well under $100,000. Yeah, 60% off a Bentley is okay, but 71% off like this one for just $79K is a steal of a deal. Tesla Model X. Yeah, the Model X is one quick depreciating asset, and I'm talking over 50% in the first 5 years, which, let me put that into perspective for a second. If you bought one for 80 grand brand new, in just 5 short years, this thing would have cost you a touch over $40,000 or $22 a day in just depreciation. So part of the problem is every single new Model X is more awesome than the last one. So no one wants the old one. It would be like buying an old iPhone 7 today. That's all Teslas are, just tech toys. And who would go buy some ancient gadget? Well, Trav might. He's a nerd like that. But even he wouldn't buy a used Model X, even though the average depreciation is 46% off, which is roughly half what they cost new. You can get them for 76% off if you look hard enough, like this ideal deal. Or is it not ideal? Now, let's pay Sweden a visit and check out the Volvo XC90. And if you're enjoying this video so far, smash that like button for us. Volvo XC90. Okay, I agree. No one builds cars quite like Volvo. And honestly, it's actually a good deal. Not only have they dropped 52% in value over 5 years, which means you can get one for nearly $40,000 off, and so far the XC90 is surprisingly reliable for luxury SUVs. Plus, it's a Volvo, so they have the whole world's safest vehicle thing. Just don't be expecting to win any races, even on this list that includes some truly massive vehicles like the Escalade. The Volvo feels like an underpowered boat in comparison. Speed isn't why you buy it though. You buy it so that you can have an Audi without having to be a dentist. Or because you just celebrated your 88th birthday, which in case, congratulations, I hope that I make it to half that. We did find one for $32,000-ish, and it's an inscription model, which is the fanciest of the fancy. Like seriously, it has textured soft leather, and not just the seats, but the dashboard is textured leather too. And here's one for 65% off. Luxury has never looked so good. And hey, speaking of the Cadillac Escalade, Cadillac Escalade ESV. Question, what falls faster? A 6,000-pound fancy Suburban pushed off a cliff, or the price while it's falling? I crack myself up sometimes. Probably the price, since over the last 5 years, this SUV that could be optioned to nearly $90,000 can be picked up for $50,000 every single day. That's an average of 46% drop in value, which, yikes! The Cadillac Escalade represents the very best of America. It's ginormous, has an LS V8, is mostly plastic, and has been the chariot of the president since convertibles fell out of fashion in the 60s for some reason. They drop like 50% off the rock in the first 5 years, but if you want to do even better, check out this one for 70% off. And this one even kind of looks presidential. And if you want to feel like a government official, or a hip-hop artist for that matter, and have a reasonably reliable, luxurious, and good-looking SUV, the Escalade might be a good buy for the money. But guys, I'm over American cars now. Let's go back to Deutschland and the BMW X6M. BMW X6M. I'm gonna be honest for a second, I kind of like this thing because it's ridiculous. I mean, it's turbocharged. It makes way too much power for being a large off-road vehicle. Nearly 600 horsepower out of the V8. This is the fun one of the list for sure. It's a BMW, which means it's going to drive like the ultimate driving machine. It's an M car, so it's going to be fast. And let's not forget, it's screwed together by the same company that owns Rolls-Royce. Although no, its interior, it's not as nice as one of those. They cost over 100 grand new. Used, they're a much better deal since the X6M has lost more than 58% of its value over 5 years. Or let's put it this way, it cost the first owner almost $30 per day in depreciation every single day for the first 5 years. So buy one now while the iron's hot, or whatever the saying is, since we found this one for 43 grand or 61% off, which is less than the Escalade and comes with way more ponies. And let's stick around Germany for our next car, which is the Mercedes GLS, which is today's honorable mention, baby. Mercedes GLS. This thing has lost an astonishing 58% of its value in the first 5 years, which might also make it the bargain of the century, since despite being a big all-wheel drive family hauler, it drives like a touring car. I mean, hell, it has 362 horsepower and electric motors that kick in when you really need it for a sub 6 second 0 to 60. Like, how fast do these SUVs actually have to be? Most of the vehicles on this list could walk away from a Safari 911. It's crazy. Anyway, you know the drill. Here's one for 22 grand or 75% off. Very nice. Now, the GLS 450 is one of the more premium SUVs on the market. That's what Mercedes does right, and the 360 horsepower just makes it that much more boomer. I mean, baller. Okay, this next one you did not expect at all, because no one expects the Japanese Inquisition. Yes, Japan can depreciate as well. May I introduce you the Acura MDX. And this thing is basically an Accord in SUV form, which means it's pretty quick, very practical, and incredibly reliable. That kind of makes it an ideal purchase if you're in the market for a vehicle, since you can pick one up for 30 grand off MSRP. And honestly, I don't know why, but these things have lost 47% of their value in the first 5 years. Maybe it's because literally no one cares about the MDX. When's the last time you heard anyone talk about one positively? And here's the thing, the MDX is a fast car, it's nicer than a Honda Pilot, they have comfortable leather seats, and are trimmed out with metal accents inside. Like, you would not be embarrassed to give your boss a ride to lunch in your MDX. I guess that's what I'm saying. And while it's got a frustrating gear selector and infotainment system, these things are nice. But somehow the Pilot, which started at $20,000 less new, is more expensive to buy used than the MDX. Seriously, for the price of a Civic, you can have a fully leather trimmed sports crossover. Here's one for under 20K, or a beautiful 60% off. So that's the list. Did any surprise you? Do you buy new vehicles, or are you more into something that's a bit more depreciated? Hit the like button, consider subscribing to Ideal, and turn on that notification bell, and go check out these fine vids up here, or whatever YouTube recommends you watch next down here. Otherwise, I'm Brad, this has been Ideal, and hey, promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.